Lauren, a young black woman, had just finished her graduation ceremony at school. Feeling lonely because none of her family showed up, she went to a nearby cafe afterward and tried to take a small graduation photo by herself, sitting in her wheelchair and fighting back disappointment. Suddenly, the cafe door swung open and a man and his little girl rushed in from the rain. They noticed Lauren struggling with her phone, trying to get a good picture. Without hesitation, the man walked over, smiled kindly, and knelt so the camera would be level with her face, helping her capture the photo she deserved. None of them knew that this small act of kindness would be the moment that changed Lauren's life forever. Before we go back, let us know where you're watching from, and subscribe because tomorrow I've got something extra special for you. The rain hammered against the windows of Daily Grind like it had a personal grudge against Seattle. Inside, the coffee shop buzzed with afternoon chaos. Students on laptops, the espresso machine screaming every 30 seconds. Lauren Hart sat in the corner by the window, as far from the noise as she could get, her wheelchair angled toward the rain-streaked glass. The burgundy graduation gown clung to her shoulders, wrinkled after hours of sitting. Her cap lay sideways on the table, the gold tassel twisted. She stared at the diploma in her lap. Bachelor of Arts in Urban Planning, summa cum laude. The Latin words looked elegant, empty. 3 missed calls from her father's assistant. Not William himself, never William, just Marissa with her practiced excuses. Mr. Hart is terribly sorry, but the Tokyo meeting ran long. Lauren's jaw tightened. She opened her phone camera and held it up. The angle was all wrong. Too high, too awkward. She could see the top of her head, the fluorescent lights washing out her face. She lowered the phone. What was the point? Her mother would have been here. Mom would have cried, insisted on a dozen photos. But Mom had been gone for 3 years, and the space she'd left kept growing wider. The door burst open. A man stumbled through, shaking water from his jacket. Behind him, a little girl in a bright yellow raincoat squealed as she jumped over a puddle. "Luna, careful!" The man grabbed her hand. "But Daddy, I made it." The girl, maybe 7, grinned up at him, rainwater dripping from her hood. "You're a puddle champion." He pulled her hood back, revealing dark curls plastered to her forehead. "Now let's get you dried off." They settled at a nearby table. The girl clutched something wrapped in plastic. A sketchbook. The man peeled off his soaked jacket. His shirt underneath was damp, but he didn't seem to notice. "Can I get hot chocolate?" Luna asked. "1 hot chocolate coming up." Marcus glanced at the counter. "Stay right here. Don't move an inch." "Not even half an inch? Not even a millimeter?" Luna giggled and unwrapped her sketchbook, tracing over a drawing of a cat wearing a crown. Lauren looked back at her phone, opened the camera again, tried to find an angle that didn't make her look pathetic, but sitting in a wheelchair, trying to capture a moment that should have been celebrated with family. There was no angle that could fix that. Her throat tightened. Stupid to care about a photo. "Excuse me?" Lauren looked up. Luna stood beside her table, sketchbook pressed to her chest. Paint stains covered her raincoat, marker smudges on her fingers. "Yes." Lauren's voice came out sharper than intended. Luna's eyes widened, taking in the graduation cap, the gown, the diploma. "You graduated, like from real college?" Yes. That's so cool. My daddy says college is really hard. You must be super smart." Luna tilted her head. "You look like a princess, but prettier. Princesses don't have cool wheels." Lauren felt a smile tug at her lips. "Thanks, I think." Luna studied her with unself-conscious intensity. "Why do you look sad? You're supposed to be happy when you graduate." The question hit harder than it should have. Lauren glanced away. "I'm not sad, just tired." "Oh." Luna looked at the phone, then at Lauren's face. "Were you trying to take a picture? The angle wasn't right." Luna's face scrunched up. Then she turned and called across the coffee shop. "Daddy, we need to help." Marcus, who just reached the front of the line, looked over with alarm. "What's wrong?" "This lady graduated and she doesn't have a good picture." Every head turned. Lauren felt heat rush to her face. "Luna, it's okay." But Luna was already waving Marcus over. He stepped out of line and walked over cautiously. "I'm sorry," he said to Lauren. "She gets excited." "She needs a graduation picture," Luna insisted. "You're good at pictures, Daddy." Marcus looked at Lauren, then at the cap, the diploma, the phone. Understanding crossed his face. "You want me to take a photo for you?" Lauren wanted to say no, but something about the way he asked, no pity, just a simple question, made her hesitate. I was just trying to get one for myself, she said quietly. Didn't really work out. May I? Marcus gestured to her phone. Lauren handed it over. Marcus took the phone, but he didn't immediately raise it. Instead, he glanced around, assessing the light. Then he did something Lauren didn't expect. He knelt down, not just crouched. He went down on one knee on the coffee shop floor until the camera was level with Lauren's face, until he was looking at her straight on, not down at her. Is this okay? He asked. I want to make sure I get the angle right. Lauren's throat tightened, but for a different reason now. Yeah, yes. Hold up your diploma. Not too high. Just enough so we can see it. Lauren lifted the diploma, her hand steadier. Luna, can you fix her cap? It's a little crooked. Luna bounced over, adjusting the graduation cap with surprising gentleness. There. Now you look official. Marcus smiled. Okay, Lauren, that's your name on the diploma, right? I need you to think about something that makes you really happy. Not fake happy, real happy. Like what? Like finishing something really hard and knowing you did it all by yourself. Like crossing a finish line nobody thought you could reach. Lauren looked at him, really looked. This stranger on his knee in a puddle, holding her phone like it mattered. Something in his eyes said he understood what finish lines cost. She thought about the late nights, the professors who doubted her, the physical therapy between classes, 4 years of her body fighting her every step. And she'd done it. The smile that spread across her face was real. Marcus took 3 photos. Got it. He checked the screen, nodded, and handed the phone back. Take a look. Lauren took the phone, fingers trembling. She opened the gallery. There she was. Not the sad girl in the corner, just Lauren Hart, college graduate, smiling like she'd conquered the world. The diploma held proudly, the cap straight, the gown looking regal in the soft window light Marcus had somehow captured. A tear slid down her cheek, landing on the screen. Oh no, did I mess it up? Marcus looked concerned. No. Lauren wiped her face. It's perfect. It's the first time I've looked happy in I don't even remember how long. Luna tugged her father's sleeve. Can I give her the picture now? What picture? Luna opened her sketchbook and tore out a page. She held it out to Lauren with both hands. This is for you, to celebrate. Lauren took the drawing, the cat in the crown rendered in bright markers, under it in wobbly letters. Congratulations. I know I spelled it wrong, Luna said quickly, but the cat was already really good. Lauren laughed, actually laughed, and more tears came. It's absolutely perfect. Thank you. You're welcome. Now you have 2 special things for your graduation. Marcus's phone buzzed. He checked it, grimaced. Luna, we need to go. Your art class starts in 15 minutes. They gathered their things. As they headed for the door, Marcus paused and looked back. Congratulations, he said. Really, whatever you're planning to do next, you're going to do great. Then they were gone, swallowed by the rain. Lauren sat alone in her corner, but the space felt different now. Warmer. She looked at the photo, really looked at it, then at the crowned cat, then back at the photo. For the first time in 3 years since the accident, since her mother's death, since her father had become a voice on the phone instead of a presence, Lauren felt something shift. She opened her messages and sent the photo to the printer in her apartment. This one deserved a frame. Outside, the rain kept falling, but Lauren didn't notice anymore. She was too busy smiling at the picture of herself smiling. 10 days after graduation, Lauren sat outside Riverside Community Center, staring at the steep ramp. Rain poured from a gray sky. Her therapy session had run late. Art therapy, her counselor's idea. She'd painted something abstract, mostly blues and grays. Now she was stuck. The ramp was slick with rain and leaves. Her arms were tired from 2 hours of exercises. One wrong move and she'd slide into traffic. She pulled out her phone. Marissa's number was right there. One call, 15 minutes, problem solved. Her thumb hovered over the screen. Calling for help felt like admitting defeat. Again. The diploma on her wall didn't mean much when she couldn't navigate a wet ramp. Talking to yourself is only pathetic if you lose the argument. Lauren looked up. Marcus stood at the bottom of the ramp with Luna beside him. Both wore raincoats. It's the princess lady. Luna's face lit up. Daddy, look! Marcus smiled. Lauren, right? From the coffee shop. Yeah, you remember. Hard to forget. Marcus glanced at the ramp, understanding crossing his face. That looks tricky in this weather. I can manage. I'm sure you can, but would you like help anyway? We're heading to the bus stop. Same direction. Luna bounced. We finished art class. I drew a whale. Lauren looked at the ramp again. Pride versus sliding into traffic. If you're offering, I'd appreciate it. Just down the ramp. You got it. Marcus moved behind her wheelchair, but before touching anything, he said, I'm going to hold the handles and control the descent. That okay? Most people just grabbed. Yeah, that's fine. Let me know if you want me to stop or adjust. You're in charge. They started down. Marcus kept the pace steady. The wheelchair didn't slip once. Luna walked beside them, protecting her sketchbook. Where do you live? Luna asked. Do you have pets? I want a dog, but our apartment's too small. Luna breathed between questions, Marcus said. Lauren smiled. Pine Tower Apartments, 6 blocks. No pets. I travel for work. What work? I help preserve old buildings. Like a building doctor. Exactly like that. They reached the bottom. The sidewalk stretched ahead, puddled and uneven. 6 blocks felt like 6 miles. I know you said you've got it, Marcus said, but this sidewalk's a mess. Would you mind if we walked with you? Luna's going to talk my ear off anyway. Lauren looked at the obstacles ahead, at her tired arms, at Luna already showing her whale drawing. Okay, but I'm buying you both coffee after. Deal. They walked, Marcus beside her, not behind. Every rough patch, he'd pause. There's a bump coming. I can tilt you back to get over it easier. That work? Every time, he asked. Never assumed. At the 5th block, a tree root had buckled the concrete, creating a 2-inch lip. Marcus crouched, examining it. This one's rough. I could lift the front wheels if you're comfortable, or go round through that driveway. Lifting's faster. Okay, tilting back on 3. 1, 2, 3. He lifted smoothly. The wheelchair cleared without jarring. He set her down gently. You've done this before, Lauren said. Something flickered across his face. My wife, Luna's mom, had MS. Toward the end, she needed a wheelchair. I learned to ask instead of assume. I'm sorry. Me too. But we're doing okay. He glanced at Luna. Right? Right. Mommy would have liked you. She likes smart people with pretty smiles. Lauren's throat tightened. Thank you, Luna. Pine Tower Apartments rose ahead. The doorman watched their approach with confusion. They reached the covered entrance. Marcus shook water from his jacket. Well, you made it home safe. Thanks to you two. Let me buy you coffee. Or lunch. Marcus hesitated. Actually, Luna's birthday is next month. We're having a party at Riverside Community Center. Nothing fancy, pizza, cake, face painting. You'd be welcome. Luna's face lit up. Yes, you should come. Lauren surprised herself. I'd love to. They exchanged numbers. As she rolled inside, Marcus called out, Hey, that photo from the coffee shop. Did you frame it? Lauren smiled. Front and center on my desk, right next to Luna's cat drawing. Luna squealed with delight. That night, Lauren sat in her chrome and marble apartment. The graduation photo sat on her desk in a silver frame. The cat drawing was on her refrigerator. She pulled up Marcus's contact information. Wright. The name nagged at her. She typed, Marcus Wright, Seattle Construction. The results loaded. Her breath caught. Articles from 5 years ago showed Marcus standing before restored Victorian mansions. Wright Building and Restoration had won awards, been featured in magazines, praised for innovative preservation techniques. Then the tone changed. Local contractor faces financial hardship after wife's illness. Wright Building files for bankruptcy. Medical debt forces closure of award-winning firm. Lauren read everything. Sarah's MS diagnosis. Treatments draining business accounts. When Sarah died 2 years ago, Marcus was left with Luna and crushing debt. The most recent article. Former contractor seeks new opportunities. Marcus remained optimistic despite 17 rejections. 17 firms had turned him down. Lauren searched his employment status. Nothing current. No LinkedIn showing recent work. She stared at the screen. This man had won awards, built a successful business, had skills her company desperately needed, and he was unemployed because medical debt destroyed him. Lauren looked at her diploma. Summa cum laude from Princeton, paid for without her father blinking. Her degree opened doors before she applied. Marcus had talent and couldn't get through one. She opened her work email. Rebecca, pull all applications for Director of Preservation from the last 2 years. Look for Marcus Wright. Flag as priority. She hit send, then looked at the cat drawing. Let's see if your daddy will let me return the favor. The Family Arts Festival filled Riverside Community Center with controlled chaos. Kids everywhere, paint splattered on tarps, pizza competing with tempera smell. Lauren arrived early. Luna spotted her first. You came. You really came. I promised, didn't I? Luna grabbed her hand. Come see the mural. Marcus stood on a ladder, marking sections with blue tape. He wore old jeans and a paint-splattered shirt, looking more at ease than Lauren had ever seen him. Look who's here, Luna announced. Marcus nearly dropped his tape. He climbed down quickly. Lauren! I wasn't sure you'd make it. I said I would. Lauren gestured to the wall. This looks ambitious. Community project. Each kid paints one section, then we connect them. Marcus pulled off his gloves. The directors wanted this for months. I volunteered to coordinate. He's really good at it, Luna said proudly. Daddy knows everything about buildings and making things pretty. Lauren watched Marcus direct kids with patience and vision, natural leadership. More than that, he had talent her company needed. Her phone buzzed. Rebecca. Found the file. Marcus Wright applied 6 months ago, rejected at initial screening. Reason, incomplete credentials. His work is incredible. Lauren opened the attachments. Images of restored Victorians, historical buildings brought back to life, innovative solutions. Then the rejection note. Applicant lacks formal degree, business failure on record, unable to meet minimum requirements. She wanted to throw her phone. Everything okay? Marcus had walked over. Just work. Can we talk? Privately. They moved to a quiet corner. Lauren pulled out her phone, opened Marcus's portfolio photos. I need to show you something. Marcus looked at the screen. His expression went neutral. Where did you get those? I looked you up. Wright Building and Restoration. These projects are exceptional. That was a long time ago. 6 months ago, you applied to Hart Technologies, my company. Marcus's jaw tightened. I applied to a lot of places. 17 places. Lauren showed the rejection notice. We turned you down because you don't have a formal degree. I'm trying to fill Director of Preservation. I've had that position open 8 months. 8 months of candidates with perfect resumes and 0 practical experience. Lauren, I want to offer you the job. Marcus stepped back. No. Just like that? I don't need charity. This isn't charity. Lauren pulled up more portfolio images. Look at this work. You have 17 years of experience and a track record of excellence. You restored original plasterwork using 1890s techniques. You solved foundation issues everyone said were impossible. And no degree. And bankruptcy and employment gaps that are red flags. I don't care. You should. Marcus looked away. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I know what this is. You feel like you owe me for a photo. You don't. You think I'd offer a 6-figure directorship out of gratitude? I run a division preserving buildings worth millions. I don't make emotional decisions. Then why me? Because you're the most qualified person I've seen. 6 months ago, HR rejected you without looking at your work. They checked boxes and threw out your application. Marcus was quiet. Across the room, Luna directed her friends on color choices. Even if I wanted to, Marcus said finally, I can't. I have Luna. Can't afford childcare for a job that might not work out. Can't risk failing again. Then let's make sure it works. 3-month trial, contract position, 1 project, the Paramount Theater downtown. Bring it in on time and under budget. The position becomes permanent with full benefits, including health insurance that covers Luna. Marcus's head snapped up. Health insurance, full family coverage, medical, dental, vision, and the company has on-site childcare. Luna could do art classes there after school. She watched hope and fear war across his face. Why would you do this? Because 6 months ago, a stranger knelt in a puddle and made me feel human. But more, because I have a degree from an expensive university, and I know enough to recognize when someone knows more than I do. I need you, Marcus. The company needs you, and you need this too. The Paramount. Interest crept into his voice. The one they've been trying to restore for 3 years? The same. Previous contractors kept hitting roadblocks. The project's bleeding money. I know that building. I did a structural assessment back when I had my business. Never got the contract, but I remember thinking there were solutions everyone was missing. Can you fix it? Yeah. No hesitation. Yeah, I can. Then prove it. 3 months. One project. Show me I'm right. Marcus looked at her extended hand for a long moment. Pride versus practicality. Fear versus hope. Finally, he shook. 3 months, but if I fail, you won't. But if I do, clean break. No guilt. Deal. Deal. Luna appeared between them, covered in paint. Daddy, we need more blue. In a minute. Marcus looked at Lauren. When do I start? Monday morning, 8 a.m. Hart Technologies, 23rd floor. Wear a suit if you have one. I have one. It's old, but it fits. Good. Lauren started to roll away, then stopped. Marcus, when you walk in Monday, some people will doubt you. Don't let them make you feel like you don't belong. You've earned this. Have I? I haven't done anything yet. You've already done more than you know. Monday morning, Marcus stood outside Hart Technologies at 7:45, staring up at the gleaming tower. His 15-year-old suit was pressed 3 times. Luna had helped pick the blue tie. Now, standing in this monument to success, he wondered if Luna's opinion was enough. The lobby was marble and chrome. His worn shoes clicked against the floor. People in expensive suits flowed around him, everyone moving with purpose. He found the elevator, pressed 23. Watched numbers climb. The doors opened onto wealth, floor-to-ceiling windows, minimalist furniture, art worth more than his car. Can I help you? The receptionist looked up, smile professional, eyes assessing his outdated suit. Marcus Wright, starting today, Director of Preservation. Her eyebrows rose. Oh, yes, let me call Ms. Hart's assistant. Rebecca appeared, sharp suit, carrying a tablet. Mr. Wright, welcome. I'm Rebecca Chen, Lauren's executive assistant. She's finishing a call, but I'll get you started with onboarding. She led him through offices and cubicles. People looked up as they passed. Marcus felt their stares, their curiosity. They reached a corner office, large windows, expensive desk, empty. This is yours, Rebecca said. Lauren wanted you to have one of the good views. Your project team meeting is at 10. Project team? For the Paramount. Lauren assembled the core group. Structural engineers, historical consultants, our lead contractor supervisor, Diane Foster. Marcus's chest tightened. Diane Foster. You know her. We've crossed paths. What he didn't say, Diane had rejected him 2 years ago, told him he lacked educational background for serious preservation work. Now she'd be his coordinator. The conference room is down the hall, 10 a.m. sharp. Rebecca paused. Marcus, this company values credentials. You'll face skepticism. But Lauren doesn't make careless decisions. Don't make her regret it. I won't. At 9:55, Marcus headed to the conference room. Through glass walls, he saw people already gathered. Lauren sat at the head in her wheelchair. Around her sat 5 others in expensive attire. Marcus took a breath and walked in. Ah, Marcus. Lauren's face lit up. Everyone, this is Marcus Wright, our new Director of Preservation. She introduced the team. Structural engineer James Park gave a polite nod. Historical consultant Dr. Sarah Blackwell offered a warm smile. 2 junior associates. And Diane Foster. She looked exactly as Marcus remembered. Red hair, now streaked gray. Sharp features. Sharper eyes. She didn't stand. Marcus and I have met before, Diane said coolly, though in a different capacity. The temperature dropped. Wonderful, Lauren said. Then you know how talented he is. Marcus, take us through your initial thoughts on the Paramount. This was it. Marcus pulled out his tablet, connected to the display. Images of the Paramount filled the screen. A beautiful 1920s 20s building, abandoned for decades, in various states of decay. The Paramount presents 3 primary challenges. First, original plasterwork throughout is severely damaged, but historically significant. Second, the foundation has settled unevenly, creating structural stress. Third, electrical and HVAC need complete modernization while preserving architectural integrity. He clicked to detailed photographs he'd taken years ago. Previous contractors treated these as separate problems. They're not. They're interconnected. Foundation settling caused plaster damage. Outdated systems create humidity, accelerating decay. Fix them in sequence. Each problem compounds the next. Fix them together, they solve each other. Dr. Blackwell leaned forward. Go on. Marcus clicked through his timeline. We start with foundation. Underpinning using helical piers, less invasive, crucial for historical structures. While stabilizing, we map every crack in plasterwork. Not to repair yet, but understand stress patterns. That seems like wasted time, Diane cut in. We should repair as we go. If we repair before the structure stops moving, we'll just create new cracks. Marcus kept his voice even. Once foundation is stable, we repair plasterwork using period techniques. Lime plaster, not modern compounds. Finally, we run new systems through existing chases. No structural penetration required. James Park nodded. That's actually brilliant. The previous team wanted steel reinforcement, which would have damaged original woodwork. Steel would have worked, but wasn't necessary. The original structure is sound. It needs stabilization, not replacement. And you're certain? Diane's voice had an edge. Because if you're wrong, we waste months and millions. I'm certain. Based on what credentials exactly? There it was. I've reviewed your file, Mr. Wright. No architecture degree, no engineering certification, just a failed business and small residential projects. The room went silent. Lauren's jaw tightened, but Marcus spoke first. You're right. I don't have those credentials. What I have is 17 years of hands-on experience, projects that came in under budget and ahead of schedule, solutions that worked when theoretical approaches failed. He looked at Diane. I also have Ms. Hart's confidence, which in this room should count for something. Confidence doesn't stabilize foundations. Neither do diplomas. Marcus clicked to his final slide. Detailed budget and timeline. 18-month project, $4.2 million budget. Previous proposal was 24 months at $6.8 million. I can save time and money while doing better work. If you don't believe me, give me the first phase. Let me prove it. Dr. Blackwell spoke. I've seen your Victorian restoration on Capitol Hill. The plasterwork was remarkable, indistinguishable from original. Thank you. Who taught you those techniques? My grandfather, master plasterer in the old tradition, taught me everything before he died. Marcus smiled slightly. No degree required, just decades of practice and someone willing to pass it on. James Park tapped his pen. I'd like to see the foundation analysis in more detail, but the approach is sound. More than sound, innovative. Diane's expression remained skeptical. And if it fails, then I'm gone. That's the agreement. Make it first phase completion, Diane countered. Foundation stabilization and initial plasterwork assessment. 4 months. She was testing him. Fine, 4 months. First phase completion. Lauren spoke. Then we're agreed. Marcus leads the paramount. Diane, coordinate with his specifications. James, work with Marcus on structural details. Questions? Diane stood. Just one. Do you have site supervisors lined up? I won't babysit contractors. I'll handle my own site management. You'll be on site personally? Every day? Something flickered in Diane's expression. Good. The paramount isn't for part-time directors. After everyone filtered out, Lauren rolled closer. That went better than expected. Diane hates me. Diane hates everyone. But James liked your approach. So did Dr. Blackwell. You won them over. I haven't won anything yet. You stood your ground. That matters. Lauren checked her watch. I have another meeting. Rebecca will get you site credentials. You start at the Paramount tomorrow. Lauren, thank you. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when the Paramount is restored and Diane admits she was wrong. Marcus laughed. That might take longer than 4 months. Across the city, Lauren sat in her therapy room, staring at parallel bars stretching 10 feet ahead. Ready? Kim stood beside her. No! Lauren gripped the bars anyway. Same goal, 10 seconds standing unassisted. Lauren pulled herself up. Her arms took most weight. Her legs trembled, muscles not remembering how to work. Pain shot up her spine. 5 seconds, Kim counted. 6, 7. Lauren's left leg buckled. She caught herself, gasping. 7 seconds, you gained 2 from last week. 2 seconds, Lauren's voice came bitter. At this rate, I'll walk independently by 60. Progress is progress. Progress is bullshit. Lauren lowered back into her wheelchair. I run a division of a multi-million-dollar company, and I can't stand for 10 fucking seconds. Kim handed her water. Lauren drank, trying to control her breathing. Everyone says be patient, celebrate small victories. But I climbed mountains before the accident. 20 miles in a day. Now I'm celebrating 7 seconds. How am I supposed to feel good about that? You're not supposed to feel good. You're supposed to acknowledge it. There's a difference. Lauren's phone rang. Marcus. Take it, Kim said. We'll try again in 15. Lauren answered. Hey, how was day 1? Survived, met the team, got challenged by Diane, which I expected, presented my approach, which went better than expected. James was impressed. 1 out of 6 isn't bad. Marcus paused. How are you? You sound off. Lauren glanced at the parallel bars. Just therapy, it's fine. Bad session? Is there any other kind? She tried to laugh. 7 seconds today. Kim acts like I won the lottery. 7 seconds is good. Marcus, seriously, you know what I celebrated the first month after Sarah died? Making Luna breakfast without burning toast. That was my victory. Toast that wasn't black. Lauren felt something loosen. Toast? Toast. Because the week before, I'd burned it 3 days running. So when I finally got it right, golden brown, perfect. That was my mountain. I stood in the kitchen holding that bread like an Olympic medal. Lauren smiled despite the pain. Did you tell anyone? Told Luna. She made me a certificate. Best toast daddy. Drew little bread slices around the edges. Kept it on the fridge 6 months. That's ridiculous. That's survival. Marcus's voice softened. You climbed mountains. That's incredible. But right now, your mountain is 10 seconds on your feet. You made it to 7. That's 70% there. That's not nothing. Lauren looked at the bars again. They didn't seem as intimidating. When do you start at the Paramount? Tomorrow, 6 a.m. Want to meet there? I could use a second opinion before the crew arrives. I have meetings until 9. Then 9:30. I'll give you the full tour. Okay. Lauren wiped her eyes. Hey, Marcus, thanks for the toast story. Anytime you need ridiculous coping mechanisms, I'm your guy. After hanging up, Lauren rolled back to Kim. Let's go again. You sure? No, let's go. This time, Lauren thought about Marcus holding perfectly toasted bread like treasure, about Luna making certificates, about survival looking like the smallest victories. She made it to 8 seconds. 8! New record! 1 more, Lauren said. Lauren, you should rest. 1 more. She gripped the bars, pulled herself up, her legs screamed, her spine felt like broken glass. She thought about Marcus in that conference room, facing Diane's skepticism with nothing but experience and confidence. She made it to 9 seconds. When she collapsed back, she was crying but also smiling. Kim pressed a towel into her hands. Want to go for 10? Not today. Today, 9 is enough. She added a note to her calendar. 9 seconds, like toast, but better. Then texted Marcus. 9 seconds, coming for your toast record. His reply, bring it on, mountain climber. For the first time in 3 years, small victories felt worth celebrating. January brought ice and tension. The Paramount was 6 weeks in, and Marcus had delivered near miraculous results. Foundation stabilization was ahead of schedule. His crew worked with precision. Even damaged plasterwork showed restoration promise. But none of that mattered when Lauren got the email. Emergency board meeting, 2 p.m. today. Paramount Theater Project review. Attendance mandatory. She stared at the message. Emergency. William Hart didn't use that word lightly. Marcus's phone went to voicemail, probably underground dealing with waterproofing. Lauren left a message. Board meeting at 2 about your project. Don't know what this is, but wanted to warn you. At 1:45, Lauren rolled into the executive boardroom on the 30th floor. This was where Hart Technologies' highest-level decisions happened, where her father presided over an empire. The room was full, 10 board members, all over 50, all in suits costing more than monthly rent. William Hart sat at the head, silver-haired, steel-eyed, every inch the billionaire. He barely glanced at Lauren. We're missing one person, William said. The door opened. Marcus walked in, looking startled in work clothes, jeans, boots, flannel under his jacket, dust in his hair. Mr. Wright, thank you for joining us. Please, sit. Marcus's eyes found Lauren's. She tried to convey reassurance, but her stomach churned. Marcus sat across from her, messenger bag still over his shoulder. William folded his hands. 6 weeks ago, Ms. Hart hired Mr. Wright as Director of Preservation. This decision was made without full board consultation. Today, we review that decision. Father, Lauren started. William raised his hand. You'll have your turn, Harrison. You conducted the review. Please share findings. Harrison Mitchell stood, 60s, Harvard MBA, made clear he thought Lauren was too young for her position. Thank you, William. He swiped his tablet. A presentation appeared on screens. While I acknowledge the project is currently on schedule and under budget, I have significant concerns about leadership qualifications and long-term viability. Lauren's hands tightened on her armrests. Harrison clicked to Marcus's resume, parts highlighted red. Mr. Wright lacks formal credentials, no advanced degree. His previous business filed for bankruptcy. Employment history shows a 2-year gap. These aren't qualifications Hart Technologies requires for director positions. He has 17 years of practical experience, Lauren said sharply. 17 years of small residential projects, Harrison corrected. The paramount is $42 million. Mr. Wright's largest previous project was $800,000. We're asking him to manage 5 times that. He's doing it successfully. For 6 weeks. That's not a track record. Harrison turned to Marcus. No disrespect, but this board has fiduciary responsibility. We cannot entrust multi-million-dollar projects to individuals whose qualifications are questionable. Marcus's expression remained neutral, but Lauren saw his jaw tighten. Douglas Chen spoke up. I've reviewed project reports. Work quality is excellent. Timeline is aggressive but achievable. What's the actual problem? The problem, Harrison said, is precedent. If we allow hiring based on personal judgment rather than established criteria, what message does that send? That credentials don't matter? That formal education is optional? In this case, yes, Lauren said flatly. Marcus was rejected 6 months ago because HR checked boxes instead of reviewing actual work. That's not good business. That's lazy gatekeeping. That's standard operating procedure. We have requirements for reasons. Harvard graduates, Stanford engineers, people with credentials proving competence. Marcus's work proves his competence. 6 weeks doesn't prove anything, except he hasn't failed yet. The words hung like a slap. Lauren saw Marcus flinch. William Hart had been silent, watching with cool assessment. Now he spoke. Mr. Wright, you've been quiet. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Marcus looked at William, then the board, then Lauren. His voice was steady. I understand your concerns. You're right. I don't have an Ivy League degree. No letters after my name. On paper, I'm a risk. He pulled out his tablet, connected to the display. But this isn't paper. This is the Paramount Theater. Images filled screens, before and after shots of foundation work, plasterwork restoration details, engineering diagrams with his annotations. 6 weeks ago, this building was condemned. Previous contractors said foundation was beyond saving. Historical Society said plasterwork couldn't be restored without destroying value. Everyone said impossible. Marcus clicked through images. This is what impossible looks like when someone actually knows what they're doing. Douglas Chen leaned forward. That's impressive. It's adequate, Harrison dismissed. No one questions technical skills. The question is whether you're qualified to lead a project this magnitude. Then let me ask you something. Marcus's voice hardened. How many people in this room have actually restored a historical building, not managed budgets, not reviewed reports, actually got hands dirty saving something everyone else gave up on? Silence. That's what I thought. Marcus clicked to his portfolio. I've spent 17 years bringing dead buildings back to life. Worked with 1880s structures, solved problems textbooks don't cover, preserved history that would have been lost. Yes, I learned from my grandfather instead of university. Does that make the work less valuable? It makes credibility less verifiable, Harrison said. Anyone can claim expertise. Credentials prove it. So do results. Marcus pulled up the budget spreadsheet. Your previous contractor estimated $6.8 million in 24 months. I'm on track for $4.2 million in 18 months. That's $2.6 million savings and half a year faster. If credentials matter more than that, this company has misplaced priorities. Lauren wanted to cheer, but Harrison wasn't finished. Savings are theoretical until completion, and frankly, your background raises concerns about judgment and stability, failed business, medical debt, personal tragedy affecting professional capability. Harrison looked at the board. These are factors we cannot ignore evaluating long-term leadership. The room went ice cold. Lauren felt rage surge. That's enough. Lauren, William started. No. She rolled forward, positioning between Harrison and Marcus. Harrison just crossed a line. Marcus's wife died of MS after 3 years fighting. He spent everything trying to save her, and when he couldn't, he declared bankruptcy to protect his daughter. That's not poor judgment. That's being human. It's a risk factor, Harrison said coldly. So is being an asshole. But you're still on this board. Shocked silence. William's eyebrows rose. Harrison's face flushed. Ms. Hart, that's inappropriate. What's inappropriate is using someone's grief against them. Lauren turned to the board. I have a Princeton degree, graduated summa cum laude. Does anyone question my credentials? No one spoke. Good, because I have the piece of paper proving I'm qualified, but that degree didn't teach me how to recognize real competence, how to value experience over theory, how to look past resumes and see actual capability. She gestured to Marcus. This man was rejected because he didn't check boxes, but in 6 weeks, he's accomplished what credentialed contractors couldn't in 6 months. He's saving money, delivering quality work, while raising a 7-year-old alone. None of that changes qualification requirements, Harrison insisted. Then the requirements are wrong. Lauren's voice rang out. If our standard is Ivy League degrees and pristine resumes, we're not hiring the best people. We're hiring the most privileged. There's a difference. Douglas Chen nodded. She has a point. She has sentiment, Harrison countered, not business sense. Really? Lauren pulled up a document on the displays. Application numbers for director positions across all divisions. Last 5 years, 847 applications. 726 rejected at initial screening for not meeting credential requirements. We never looked at portfolios, never interviewed, just checked boxes and hit delete. She clicked to the next page. Of 121 we hired, 34 left within 2 years. Average completion rate is 63% on time, 71% on budget. That's not excellence. That's mediocrity with expensive diplomas. William Hart watched his daughter with an unreadable expression. Marcus Wright doesn't fit our normal profile, Lauren continued. That's exactly why I hired him, because our profile isn't working. Because sometimes the best person is the one everyone overlooked. Because credentials prove you went to school, they don't prove you can do the work. She looked at her father. You built this company from nothing. You didn't have a Harvard MBA when you started. You had vision and determination and willingness to take risks on unconventional approaches. When did we forget that? Silence stretched. William stood, walked to the windows. Harrison, he said finally, you mentioned risk factors. What's the risk if we terminate Mr. Wright's contract today? We'd need a new director, restart with new leadership, estimated delay of 3 to 4 months. And cost. Additional $1.5 to $2 million. And if we keep Mr. Wright and he fails? Harrison hesitated. Similar cost, similar delay. So either way, we're taking a risk. The only difference is one risk is based on fear of what might go wrong, and the other is based on evidence of what's going right. He looked at Marcus. Mr. Wright, in your professional opinion, can you complete the Paramount as proposed? Marcus met his gaze. Yes, sir. No qualifications, no hedging. No hedging. I can do this. I've already proven I can. The only question is whether you'll let me finish. William was silent. Then he turned to the board. Motion to continue Mr. Wright's contract through project completion with full director status pending successful first phase review. All in favor? Douglas Chen's hand went up immediately. 2 others followed, then 2 more. Harrison sat rigid, hand down. Motion carries 6-4. William looked at Marcus. You have your 4 months. Don't waste them. I won't. Meeting adjourned. Board members filed out. Harrison left without a word, face tight. Douglas paused by Marcus. Good luck. I hope you prove them wrong. When the room cleared, only Lauren, Marcus, and William remained. William approached Marcus, extended his hand. My daughter has good instincts. I hope you live up to them. Marcus shook it. I intend to, sir. See that you do. William turned to Lauren. My office, 5 minutes. He left. Marcus looked at Lauren. That was terrifying. I was going to say intense. Marcus rubbed his face. What you said was true. All of it. Lauren checked her phone. I have to talk to my father. Are you okay? Yeah, I think so. Marcus smiled slightly. You threw your credentials at them like a weapon. Because I realized something. My Princeton degree gave me opportunities you never got. Not because I'm smarter or work harder, but because I was born into the right circumstances. That's not merit. That's luck. And it's bullshit. Lauren, go back to the Paramount. Do what you do best. Lauren met his eyes. Thank you for not backing down. That took guts. Learned from the best. Marcus headed for the door, then paused. How many seconds now? 12. Yesterday. 12. Marcus grinned. You're destroying that toast record. After he left, Lauren sat alone looking at the city below. Her phone buzzed. Kim. Saw your calendar note. 12 seconds. That's 120% improvement in 1 month. Keep it up and you'll be running marathons by summer. Lauren smiled and typed, let's start with walking to the coffee shop. Then she headed to her father's office, ready for whatever came next. Because today, she'd stood up for someone who deserved it. And that was worth more than any credential she'd ever earned. March arrived with unexpected sunshine. The Paramount had passed 3 months, and even Diane Foster had stopped criticizing. Foundation was stable, structural work ahead of schedule, plasterwork restoration praised by the Historical Society. Marcus stood in the theater's main hall, watching his crew restore the ornate ceiling. Sunlight streamed through high windows, illuminating the painstaking work. His phone buzzed. Luna's school. Mr. Wright? This is Principal Anderson. Luna's fine, but there's been an incident. 30 minutes later, Marcus sat in the principal's office. Luna perched beside him, arms crossed, chin jutted defiantly. Luna got into an altercation. She pushed Tyler Morrison off the swings. He said my daddy was a loser, Luna burst out. He said his dad said people without college degrees are stupid, and my daddy shouldn't have a fancy job. Marcus's chest tightened. Luna, I'm not sorry. Tyler's mean and his dad is wrong. Principal Anderson sighed. I understand Luna was defending you, but physical aggression isn't acceptable. She'll apologize to Tyler, and she's suspended from recess for 3 days. Luna's eyes filled with tears. In the car, Luna was silent until they parked. Daddy, are you mad? Marcus turned to face her. I'm not mad, but Luna, you can't push people when they say mean things. But he was wrong. You're not stupid. I know I'm not. You know I'm not. Tyler's dad's opinion doesn't change that. Marcus pulled Luna into a hug. People will say things sometimes. About my education, about our old apartment, about a lot of stuff. You can't fight them all. Why not? Because that's not who we are. We're better than that. Besides, you know the best revenge? What? Proving them wrong by being amazing, which you already are. Luna sniffled. Can we get ice cream? You just got suspended from recess. But emotional ice cream isn't a reward. It's therapy. You said that last month. Marcus laughed. Okay, emotional ice cream it is. That evening, Marcus brought Luna to the Paramount to collect forgotten tools. She'd been begging to see where he worked. They walked into the main hall. Luna gasped. Daddy, it's like a palace. It's a theater. Want to see the stage? They climbed restored stairs. Marcus carried Luna over sections still under construction and stood center stage. Empty seats stretched before them, rising toward ornate balconies. This is where people performed? Luna whispered, awed. Plays, concerts, all kinds of shows. 100 years ago, this place was magical. It's still magical. Marcus heard footsteps. Diane Foster entered, carrying blueprints. Right. Didn't expect you this late. She noticed Luna. Who's this? My daughter, Luna. Luna, this is Ms. Foster. She helps coordinate the project. You're the one who didn't like my daddy at first, Luna said brightly. Diane's eyebrows rose. Marcus wanted to sink through the floor. Luna, Daddy said you thought he wasn't qualified because he didn't go to fancy school, but then you saw how good he was and changed your mind. Right, Miss Foster? Diane looked at Luna for a long moment. Then she crouched to the girl's level, the same way Marcus always did. Your daddy told you that? He tells me everything, even the hard stuff. Luna tilted her head. Did you really change your mind? Yes, I did. Diane glanced at Marcus. I was wrong about your father. He's one of the best contractors I've worked with. His plasterwork restoration saved techniques I thought were lost. See? Luna looked at Marcus triumphantly. I told you people would figure it out. Diane stood. Right. Can I talk to you? Luna, you can explore the stage. Just stay where your dad can see you. Luna ran to examine curtains. Diane and Marcus moved aside. "I owe you an apology," Diane said without preamble. "A real one. I judged you based on paper credentials and ignored everything that actually mattered. You were doing your job." "No, I was being elitist. There's a difference." Diane looked at restoration work around them. "I've been in this industry 30 years, worked my way up from assistant to senior coordinator. I always thought the degree legitimized me, made me deserve the position. But watching you work, you've taught me more in 3 months than I learned in 4 years of university." "Diane, let me finish." She pulled out her phone, showed him a photo. "This is the Victorian you restored on Capitol Hill. I went there last weekend, stood in that house for an hour studying your plaster work. The technique, that's from the 1890s. I found a reference in a historical journal. Most contractors don't even know it exists. My grandfather taught me." "Exactly. That's generational knowledge, passed through practice. You can't learn that from textbooks." Diane pocketed her phone. "I'm sorry for dismissing you. I'm sorry for making assumptions. And I'm sorry your daughter had to defend you from an asshole parent at her school." Marcus blinked. "How did you know about that?" "Luna just told me, right before she declared I'd changed my mind." Diane smiled slightly. "She's right. I did. Because you showed me credentials are meaningless without skill to back them up. And you have the skill right. In spades. Thank you. That means a lot. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when I help you fight the next Harrison Mitchell who tries to tear you down." Diane handed him blueprints. "These came today. Electrical routing for upper floors. I reviewed them. They're good, but I think you could optimize placement near balcony boxes. Take a look tomorrow?" "Yeah, I'll take a look." After Diane left, Luna ran back. "She's nice now." "She was always nice, just cautious." "Daddy." Luna's voice got quiet. "Do you care that you don't have a college degree?" Marcus considered the question. "Sometimes. When people use it to doubt me. But Luna, education is valuable. School is important. If you want college someday, I'll do everything to help you. But a degree isn't the only thing that matters. What matters is what you can do, how you treat people, and whether you keep learning even when school's over." "So I should still do my homework?" "Definitely still do your homework." Luna laughed. They walked back through the theater. At the exit, Luna stopped. "Daddy, can we come back when it's done?" "When people are performing. We'll have the best seats in the house. I promise." Later that week, Lauren visited for official progress review. 4 months in, results were undeniable. The main hall gleamed with restored beauty. Plasterwork looked newly created, not century-old. Marcus gave her the full tour, explaining each decision, each technique. Lauren listened, impressed by both work and passion in his voice. They ended on the stage, looking out at empty seats. "You did it," Lauren said. "Even Diane's impressed." "Diane apologized to me, formally." Marcus shook his head. "Didn't see that coming." "People can change when you give them reason." Lauren rolled to the stage edge. Looking at the orchestra pit. "Can I ask something personal?" "Sure." "How did you keep going? After your wife died, after bankruptcy, after all those rejections, what made you keep trying?" Marcus was quiet. "Luna, simple as that. I had a daughter who needed me to show her getting knocked down doesn't mean staying down. That failure isn't permanent unless you let it be." He sat on the stage edge. "Also, I'm too stubborn to quit. My wife used to call it my most annoying quality." Lauren smiled, then her smile faded. "I need to tell you something. About the accident. About why I'm in this wheelchair. You don't have to." "I do. Because you trusted me with your story, and I've been hiding mine." Lauren took a breath. 3 years ago, right after my mother died, I was angry. At my father. At life. At everything. I decided to climb Mount Rainier. Alone. In winter. Minimal gear. Marcus's eyes widened. "I told myself it was about proving I could handle something difficult. But really, I was trying to prove to my father that I was capable of achieving something meaningful without his help. That I mattered beyond being William Hart's daughter." Lauren's voice cracked. "I made it to 13,000 feet before weather turned. Should have turned back. But I kept going because in my head, reaching the summit was the only thing that would prove I was enough." "Lauren, I fell. About 400 feet. Broke my spine in 3 places. Shattered my pelvis. Destroyed nerves that haven't healed and maybe never will." Tears streamed down her face. Rescue team said I was lucky to survive, but I didn't feel lucky. I felt like an idiot who'd thrown away her life, trying to prove something stupid. Marcus moved to kneel beside her wheelchair, eye level, just like in the coffee shop. You're not an idiot. You're a person who was in pain and made a decision with terrible consequences. That doesn't make you broken. I broke myself, Marcus, because I couldn't handle grief like a normal person. There's no normal way to handle grief. Trust me, I tried to find one. Marcus put his hand over hers. You know what I see when I look at you. Someone who survived something that would have destroyed most people. Someone who turned pain into purpose. Someone who graduated summa cum laude while relearning how to exist in a body that didn't work the way it used to. That's not broken. That's extraordinary. Lauren wiped her eyes. You really believe that? I really believe that. And someday, I hope you believe it too. They sat in silence. Then Luna's voice echoed. Daddy! Miss Lauren! I found a secret room backstage. Marcus smiled. We should check that out before she finds a way to hurt herself. Probably. But Lauren didn't move yet. Marcus, thank you for not judging me. Never. He stood, offering his hand. Come on, let's see what Luna discovered. They found Luna in the original dressing room, surrounded by old posters and costumes. She'd put on a feathered hat and was spinning. Look, I'm a star, Marcus laughed. You're definitely a star. Lauren pulled out her phone and snapped a photo, Luna in the ridiculous hat, Marcus laughing beside her, all surrounded by ghosts of performances past. She sent it to Marcus. Your daughter found her calling, then added it to her phone album labeled Good Days. It sat right beside the graduation photo from that rainy coffee shop afternoon. Some pictures captured more than moments. They captured the people who made those moments matter. The Metropolitan Grill was where senators made deals and billionaires closed mergers, the kind where cheapest wine cost more than weekly groceries. Lauren hated it, but when William Hart requested dinner, you showed up. Lauren arrived at 7 p.m. The host led her to a private corner where her father already sat, reading his tablet. Lauren. He stood briefly. Thank you for coming. Did I have a choice? You always have a choice. William waited for her to settle. I took the liberty of ordering wine. I don't want wine. William's eyebrow rose. Rough day, long day. There's a difference. A server appeared, took orders, disappeared. Silence stretched between them, familiar and uncomfortable. The Paramount project is progressing well, William said. Douglas forwarded the latest reports. Your Mr. Right continues to exceed expectations. He's not my Mr. Right. He's an employee. Is that all he is? Lauren's jaw tightened. What's that supposed to mean? It means I've noticed you spend considerable time at that site. More than typical. William set down his tablet. It means I've received reports about a certain closeness between you and Mr. Right. Reports? From who? That's irrelevant. What matters is perception. You're a senior executive. He's your subordinate. The optics are concerning. The optics? Lauren felt heat rising. There's nothing inappropriate happening. Marcus is a friend, a colleague, someone I respect professionally. I'm sure, but you're also a young woman who's been isolated since your accident. It's natural to form attachments to people who show kindness. I just want to make sure you're not confusing gratitude with... Don't. Lauren's voice went cold. Don't you dare finish that sentence. William paused. I'm trying to protect you. From what? From having a friend? From working closely with someone competent? Or from making my own decisions without your approval? From making choices that could damage your reputation and career? William leaned forward. I know you believe Mr. Wright is qualified. The board agreed to continue his employment. But fraternizing with him isn't appropriate. The power dynamic alone... The power dynamic? Lauren laughed bitterly. You want to talk about power dynamics? Fine. Let's talk about how you've controlled every aspect of my life since Mom died. Where you decided which doctors I saw, which treatments I received, which job I got at your company. I was helping. You were managing me. Like another acquisition, another asset to optimize. Lauren's voice shook. You know the worst part of my accident? Not losing my legs. Not the pain or surgeries or months in rehab. It was watching you turn into this distant CEO who couldn't even look at me without seeing a problem to solve. That's not fair, isn't it? Lauren pulled out her phone, opened the graduation photo Marcus had taken. She held it up. "You know what this is?" William glanced at it. "Your graduation photo. You know where you were when it was taken." Silence. "Tokyo," Lauren said quietly. "You were in Tokyo for a business meeting. You sent flowers and had Marissa leave a voicemail. You didn't even call yourself. I explained the meeting. Couldn't be rescheduled, I remember. But you know who was there? A stranger. A man I'd never met, sitting in a coffee shop with his daughter. He saw me trying to take a selfie, looking pathetic and alone. And you know what he did?" William said nothing. "He knelt down on a dirty floor, got down on one knee so the camera was level with my face, so I wasn't photographed from above like a child or a patient. He treated me like a person who deserved respect. And he took this photo, the only graduation picture I have, the only one where I'm actually smiling, because he cared enough to try." Lauren set her phone on the table, image glowing. "That man is Marcus Wright. Yes, I spend time with him. Yes, I consider him a friend, because in one afternoon, he showed me more respect and dignity than you've shown me in 3 years." William's face had gone pale. "Lauren, when's the last time you asked how I was doing? Not about work, not about projects, but about me. Whether I'm okay, whether I'm happy, whether I'm coping." Tears burned Lauren's eyes. "When's the last time you just sat with me like a father instead of a CEO?" "I don't know how to do that anymore." William's voice cracked, the first genuine emotion Lauren had heard in years. "After your mother died, after your accident, I didn't know how to be in a room with that much pain. So I did what I knew how to do. I worked. I fixed problems. I made sure you had the best care, the best opportunities, the best of everything money could buy. I didn't need the best of everything, Dad. I needed you." The word dad, not father, hung between them. William closed his eyes. "I failed you." "Yes, you did." Lauren wiped her face. "But what hurt more was you kept failing me. Every missed call, every assistant who spoke for you, every time you treated me like a business obligation instead of your daughter. It was like losing Mom killed the father I used to have too. Your mother knew how to navigate grief. I never learned." William opened his eyes, and Lauren saw tears. She was the emotional center of our family. Without her, I didn't know how to connect with you. Everything I tried felt inadequate. "So you stopped trying." "I stopped trying," William admitted. "And I'm sorry." "Lauren, I'm so deeply sorry." The server appeared with food. They both stared at their plates, neither eating. "Marcus isn't trying to take advantage of me," Lauren said quietly. "He's not after money or position or influence. He's just a good person who showed kindness to a stranger and became a friend. That's all." "I know." William pushed his plate aside. "I had him investigated, thoroughly, multiple times. You know what I found?" Lauren tensed. "What?" "Nothing. Absolutely nothing except what you already knew. A widower raising his daughter alone. A talented contractor buried in medical debt. A man who applied to 17 firms and got rejected by all of them because people like me see credentials instead of capability." William looked at his hands. "I saw his application in our files. You know why I approved continuing his employment? Because the board voted. Because I saw that photograph, the graduation picture." William pointed to Lauren's phone. "You submitted it as part of your report on workplace accessibility protocols. And when I looked at that image, at your face really looking at you for the first time in years, I realized something. A stranger had done what I couldn't. He'd made you feel seen." Lauren's throat tightened. "That's when I understood how badly I'd failed," William continued. "Not just as a father, but as a human being. I'd let my grief and fear turn me into someone who measured worth by profit margins and pedigree, someone who'd forgotten what actually matters." "So what now?" Lauren asked. "You say you're sorry and everything goes back to normal?" "No, because normal was broken." William reached across the table, stopped just short of touching her hand. "I want to try again, to be your father, not your CEO. I don't know if I can fix what I've broken, but I want to try. If you'll let me." Lauren looked at his hand, hovering, uncertain. She thought about all the moments he'd missed, all the times she'd needed him and he wasn't there. But she also thought about Marcus's words. People can change when you give them reason to. She took her father's hand. "I'll let you try. But Dad, you have to actually show up. Not send assistance, not check in via email. Actually be present. Can you do that? I can try. Trying isn't enough. Either commit or don't. William squeezed her hand. Then I commit. To being better. To being the father you deserve. They sat like that for a moment, hands linked across untouched food. 3 years of distance finally beginning to close. I'd like to meet him properly, William said. Mr. Wright, not as an employee or a board presentation, but as the person who's been a good friend to my daughter. Would that be acceptable? You're asking my permission. I'm asking your permission. Lauren smiled slightly. Then yes, that would be acceptable. But Dad, if you go into CEO mode and interrogate him about credentials, I won't. I promise. I just want to understand who he is. And maybe, William hesitated, maybe thank him for being there when I wasn't. Lauren's phone buzzed. Marcus. Luna wants to know if you're coming to her actual birthday party next weekend. Very insistent that you need to be there. Something about princess ladies being required. Lauren showed the message to her father. That's Luna, Marcus's daughter, 7 years old, aspiring artist, strongest personality I've ever encountered. She sounds wonderful. She is. Her birthday party is next Saturday, 2 p.m. at Riverside Community Center. Lauren met her father's eyes. Wanna come? It'll be kids, pizza, face painting, chaos. Not your usual scene. I'll clear my calendar. Really? Really? William smiled. A real smile. I have 3 years of father-daughter events to make up for. A 7-year-old's birthday party seems like a reasonable place to start. They ate their dinner. Conversation stayed lighter. Safer topics. Careful steps toward rebuilding. But something had shifted. Some wall had started to crack. When they left, William walked Lauren to her car instead of immediately heading to his own. Lauren, that photograph. Would you send it to me? I'd like it framed for my office. Why? Because it shows my daughter succeeding despite me, not because of me. I think I need that reminder. William looked away. I need to remember the most important thing I ever built wasn't a billion-dollar company. It was you, and I almost lost you because I forgot that. Lauren sent him the photo. Don't forget again. I won't. As Lauren drove home, Marcus called. Hey, dinner with your father go okay? Luna was worried. It was surprisingly okay. Actually, more than okay. Lauren smiled. And tell Luna, yes, I'm absolutely coming to her party. Also, she should prepare herself. I'm bringing someone. Who? My dad. He wants to meet you. Properly. As a friend. Not as an employee. Marcus was quiet. Is that weird? That feels potentially weird. It's definitely weird, but it's also progress for both of us. Lauren pulled up to a red light. Fair warning. He asked me to thank you for being there when he wasn't. So there might be an awkward gratitude moment. Great. Nothing says fun birthday party like emotional conversations with billionaires. Lauren laughed. Welcome to my life. Also, Luna's right. Princess ladies are absolutely required. I'll even wear a tiara. Luna will demand photographic evidence. Then it's good I know a really talented photographer. After hanging up, Lauren sat in her car, looking at the graduation photo still on her screen. 3 years ago, it captured her at her loneliest. Now it represented the beginning of everything that came after. Friendship, purpose, the slow journey of putting broken pieces back together. She texted Kim, guess what? 15 seconds today. And my dad is coming to a kid's birthday party. Miracles everywhere. Kim's response, 15 seconds? That's toast and pancakes. You're unstoppable. Lauren smiled and drove home, already planning what kind of tiara a princess lady would wear to a 7-year-old's birthday party. William Hart stood at the Paramount Theater construction entrance at 6:45 a.m., feeling more out of place than he'd felt in 30 years. He wore jeans, actual jeans, which his assistant had to purchase, and a casual shirt. No tie, no jacket. He felt naked. The site wasn't officially open, but workers were arriving. He'd called Marcus the night before, asked to visit early. Marcus had agreed with audible reluctance. A truck pulled up. Marcus climbed out, carrying 2 thermoses of coffee. He spotted William and paused. Mr. Hart, you're early. Old habit. William gestured to the theater. Thank you for letting me visit. Lauren said you wanted to see the project. Marcus handed him a thermos. Coffee. Fair warning. It's construction site coffee. William took a sip. It was terrible. It is perfect. Thank you. Marcus unlocked the entrance and led William inside. The transformation was stunning. What had been ruined was now clearly being restored. The main hall gleamed, plaster repaired but not modernized, original details preserved. "This is remarkable," William said. "It's getting there." Marcus walked to the center, pointed at the ceiling. "See that section? We're working there today. Original 1920s plasterwork. Most contractors would have torn it out, replaced it with modern materials, but that would destroy historical integrity. So you're restoring it instead. Using the same techniques from 100 years ago takes longer, costs more in labor, but the result is authentic." Marcus pulled out his tablet, showed William comparisons. "This is 3 months ago, and this is now." The difference was staggering. William studied the images, genuinely impressed. "Lauren was right about you. You don't just restore buildings. You understand them. That's the job." "No, it's more." William looked around. "I've reviewed a lot of construction projects. Most contractors see buildings as problems to solve. You see them as something to preserve. There's a difference." Marcus was quiet. Then, "Can I ask you something honestly? Please. Why are you here? And don't say it's about inspecting the project. Lauren does that." William set down his thermos. "I'm here because 4 months ago you did something I should have done. You showed up for my daughter when she needed someone. Mr. Hart, let me finish, please." William sat in one of the restored seats. "When Lauren had her accident, I convinced myself I was helping by providing the best doctors, the best care, the best everything. I threw money at the problem because that's what I know. But what she actually needed was a father who could sit with her pain instead of trying to fix it. You were grieving too. Your wife had just died. That's not an excuse. It's an explanation, but not an excuse." William looked at the ornate ceiling. "I failed my daughter in every way that mattered, and then you, a stranger, showed her more respect and dignity in one afternoon than I'd shown her in 3 years. The photograph. The photograph." William pulled out his phone, opened the image. "I had this framed. It sits on my desk now. Every time I look at it, I see my daughter smiling, really smiling, because someone took time to treat her like she mattered." Marcus sat beside him. "Mr. Hart, I didn't do anything special. I just took a picture. You knelt down so the camera was at her eye level. Most people would have stood and shot down at her. That small choice showed more understanding of dignity and respect than I demonstrated in years." William turned to Marcus. "You have a daughter. You understand what it means to make her feel valued. Luna's my entire world. I can tell. Lauren talks about her constantly, about how confident she is, how creative, how kind." William smiled slightly. "She says Luna has your best qualities." "She has her mother's best qualities. I'm just trying not to screw them up." "You're doing more than that. You're raising a daughter who defends her father against playground bullies, who creates art and shares it generously, who treats everyone with kindness, even people in wheelchairs she just met." William's voice caught. "That's not luck. That's intentional parenting." They sat in silence, two fathers in an empty theater, separated by wealth and background, but connected by love for their daughters. "I want to ask you something," William said, "and I need you to be honest. What can I do to be a better father to Lauren? Not CEO to employee, not provider to dependent, but father to daughter, because clearly you know something I don't." Marcus was quiet for a long time. When he spoke, his voice was careful. "Show up. That's it. That's the whole thing. I'm trying. No, really show up. Not just physically present, but emotionally available. When Luna tells me about her day, I don't just nod. I ask questions. I engage. I make her feel like her stories matter, even when they're about playground drama or art projects. But Lauren's an adult, which means she needs you differently, not less." Marcus leaned forward. "After Sarah died, I tried to keep everything together by myself. Be strong, don't show weakness, protect Luna from my grief. You know what happened? Luna started having nightmares, acting out at school, because kids know when you're hiding, and it scares them more than truth. What did you do?" "I started being honest. I told Luna I was sad, that I missed Mommy, that sometimes I didn't know what I was doing. And she felt safer because she knew I wasn't pretending. She knew we were in it together." Marcus met William's eyes. "Lauren doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be present. And sometimes being present means admitting you don't have all the answers. William absorbed this. I've spent 30 years building a reputation as someone who always has answers. Parenting isn't a boardroom. It's okay to be uncertain. A worker arrived, called a greeting. Marcus waved, then stood. I need to start the day. But Mr. Hart, you asking these questions, actually wanting to learn instead of assuming you know, that's already progress. Thank you. And Marcus. William stood. Please call me William, at least outside the office. That feels weird? I imagine it does, but if we're both going to be in Luna's life, and I hope we are, we should probably be on a first-name basis. Marcus smiled slightly. Okay, William. Can I watch the crew work for a while? I promise not to get in the way. Sure, just stay out of hard hat zones. For the next hour, William Hart, billionaire CEO, real estate mogul, man who commanded boardrooms, watched Marcus Wright teach a 19-year-old apprentice how to properly mix lime plaster. Marcus was patient. He demonstrated 3 times, let the kid try, gently corrected mistakes without making him feel stupid. He explained not just how, but why. Why this ratio mattered, why temperature affected drying time, why traditional methods sometimes worked better than modern shortcuts. The apprentice was Jeremy, high school diploma, rough hands, called Marcus Boss, with genuine respect. You been doing this long? William asked Jeremy during a break. 6 months. Mr. Wright gave me a shot when nobody else would. I was working fast food before this. Jeremy grinned. Now I'm learning a real trade. My mom can't believe it. What made you want this work? Honestly, didn't know it existed until I saw Mr. Wright talking to my cousin about the apprenticeship program. But once I started learning, man, it's like art and science mixed. Every building has a story, and we get to help preserve it. Jeremy looked at the ornate ceiling. How many people get to say they worked on something that'll last another 100 years? After Jeremy went back to work, Marcus joined William. He's a good kid, rough start, but he's got the hands and patience for this work. You're training him the way your grandfather trained you. Someone taught me. Seemed right to pass it on. Marcus checked his watch. I've got 3 other apprentices working various sections. Most are kids who couldn't afford college or didn't fit traditional education paths, but they're learning skills that'll give them real careers. That's admirable. That's survival. The trades are dying because everyone thinks you need a degree to have a decent life. Meanwhile, buildings are crumbling because nobody knows how to fix them properly. Marcus gestured around. This place would have been demolished if I hadn't convinced Lauren to let me try. And it'll stand another century because I taught kids like Jeremy how to do the work right. William understood then what Lauren had tried to explain. Marcus wasn't just good at his job, he was changing lives, building legacy, creating opportunity where others saw obstacles. I judged you, William said quietly. When Lauren first told me she'd hired you, I looked at your resume and saw red flags, no degree, bankruptcy, employment gaps. I thought she was making an emotional decision. I know, I was in that board meeting. I was wrong, not just about your qualifications, but about what matters. I built a company believing credentials equal competence. That pedigree predicts performance, but you've proven that's not true. Jeremy out there, he's proof it's not true. Education is valuable. I'm not saying it's not. Luna's going to college if she wants, and I'll work 3 jobs to make it happen. But education is one path, not the only path. And sometimes the most valuable knowledge comes from sources that don't fit the traditional model. William nodded slowly. He thought about his own father, who'd started Hart Technologies in a garage, who'd built success through grit and instinct, not business school theory. Somewhere along the way, William had forgotten that legacy, had started valuing credentials he'd acquired over the hustle that built the foundation. I'd like to do something, William said. If you're open to it. What's that? Establish a scholarship program, fully funded apprenticeships in historical preservation and construction trades, not just at Hart Technologies, but across the industry. Cover living expenses, provide tool stipends, offer placement support after completion. Marcus's eyes widened. That's huge. It's necessary. You said the trades are dying. Let's change that. Let's give kids like Jeremy a real path forward. William pulled out his phone, started making notes. I want your input on structure. You know this world better than I do. What would actually help, not what sounds good in a press release. Are you serious? Completely. I've spent 30 years investing in businesses. Maybe it's time I invest in people instead. William looked at Marcus. And maybe I start by learning from someone who's been doing that all along. They spent another hour discussing possibilities. Marcus sketched ideas, training curriculum, mentor relationships, job placement networks. William took notes, asked questions, listened instead of directing. When they wrapped up, the theater was alive with workers, Diane efficiently coordinating teams, Dr. Blackwell consulting on historical accuracy. The place hummed with purposeful activity. Marcus walked William back to the entrance. "Thank you for coming today," Marcus said, "and for listening. Most people in your position wouldn't bother. Most people in my position don't have daughters like Lauren who force them to confront their mistakes." William extended his hand. "I'm looking forward to Luna's party Saturday. Fair warning, I've never been to a children's birthday party. I'll probably be terrible at it. Just show up and be willing to get face paint on your nice clothes. That's literally the only requirement." Marcus shook his hand. "And William, what you said about the scholarship program, if you're serious, you could change a lot of lives." "I'm serious. Send me detailed thoughts by Monday. We'll make it happen." As William drove to his office, he thought about Jeremy carefully mixing lime plaster under Marcus's patient guidance, about Luna defending her father on the playground, about Lauren's smile in that graduation photograph, and he thought about 30 years spent building a company while forgetting to build relationships with people who actually mattered. He called his assistant. "Marissa, clear my calendar for Saturday afternoon. All of it. Mr. Hart, you have the Anderson merger. Reschedule it. I have a birthday party to attend." "A birthday party?" "Yes, it's important. Also, I need you to find out what 7-year-old girls like. Art supplies, I think? Something creative. Make sure it's good quality, not just expensive. There's a difference." Pause. "Mr. Hart, are you feeling all right?" "For the first time in years, Marissa, I think I might be." June arrived with perfect weather. The Paramount Theater stood on the corner like a phoenix, exterior cleaned and restored, marquee gleaming, windows sparkling with original stained glass. Inside was spectacular. The main hall had been transformed back to 1920s glory. Ornate plasterwork covered the ceiling, balconies curved gracefully, brass railings polished to shine. The stage curtain hung in rich burgundy velvet. Marcus stood backstage adjusting his tie. He wore a new suit, properly fitted, purchased with his first real paycheck in 3 years. Luna sat beside him in a purple princess dress. "Daddy, you look handsome." "I look nervous." "You look both." Luna patted his hand. "But Ms. Lauren says you're going to do great." Marcus smiled. Luna's birthday party last month had been chaotic perfection. William Hart awkwardly participating in games, Lauren wearing a tiara while judging art. The photo of William with a painted butterfly on his cheek now sat on Marcus's refrigerator. "Mr. Wright," a stagehand appeared. 5 minutes. Luna jumped down. "I'm going to sit with Grandpa William." Marcus blinked. "Grandpa William?" "He said I could call him that. Is that okay?" "Yeah, kiddo." "That's okay." Through the curtain gap, Marcus could see the theater filling. City officials, journalists, Hart Technologies employees. Diane sat smiling. Jeremy and the apprentices sat together, looking proud. And William Hart sat front row with Luna on his lap, pointing out ceiling details, actually engaging. "Ready?" Lauren rolled up beside him, wearing a professional suit with a bright scarf. She'd traded her wheelchair for a walker today. "You're using the walker," Marcus said. 18 seconds standing now. Seemed like a good day to show off." Lauren smiled. "How are you feeling?" "Terrified. Honored." "We did it, Marcus. Actually did it. You gave me the chance. We did it together." Lauren checked her phone. "My father's about to give opening remarks. Then we present together. Then tours." The lights dimmed. William Hart walked onto stage. "Thank you all for coming," William began. 5 months ago, this building was condemned. Experts said it couldn't be saved. We were advised to tear it down." He paused. "But my daughter, Lauren Hart, saw something everyone else missed. She saw potential where others saw problems. And, most importantly, she recognized talent that traditional hiring practices had overlooked." William gestured toward the wings. Marcus Wright came with a resume that didn't check usual boxes. No architecture degree, just 17 years of experience and deep understanding. Most companies, including ours, had rejected him, but Lauren saw past credentials to competence. The crowd listened intently. Mr. Wright didn't just restore this building. He transformed it. He trained apprentices in dying arts. He solved problems that stumped credentialed experts. He proved sometimes the old ways work better than new. William's voice carried warmth. I'm proud of this project, but more, I'm proud of my daughter for having vision to make it happen, and grateful to Mr. Wright for proving credentials are no substitute for capability. He turned toward the wings. Lauren, Marcus, please join me. Lauren started forward with her walker. Marcus walked beside her. The crowd applauded as they reached center stage. Lauren took the microphone. Thank you, Dad. When I graduated 6 months ago, I thought my education was complete. I thought I knew what mattered. She smiled. Then I met someone in a coffee shop who taught me the most valuable knowledge often comes from unexpected sources. That respect and dignity cost nothing but mean everything. That competence isn't proven by diplomas, but by results. Lauren looked at Marcus. The Paramount stands today because Marcus Wright understood something fundamental. Buildings, like people, deserve to be saved even when everyone else has given up. She handed the microphone to Marcus. He gripped it, aware of hundreds of eyes. I'm not great at speeches, he began. Nervous laughter rippled. But 6 months ago, I was unemployed, buried in debt, getting rejected from every job because I didn't have the right credentials. I was about to give up. He looked at Lauren. Then Lauren Hart took a chance on me, not out of pity, but because she believed in what I could do. She fought for me when her company wanted to reject me. She gave me the opportunity to prove experience and passion matter just as much as any degree. Marcus turned to the crowd. This theater is beautiful, but the most important thing was teaching kids like Jeremy Carter, he pointed to his apprentice, that there are paths to meaningful careers that don't require college debt, that craftsmanship still matters, that working with your hands to create something lasting is valuable. His voice caught. I want to thank Ms. Hart for this chance, my crew for trusting my vision, my daughter, Luna, for reminding me why I keep trying, and everyone who believed this building deserved to be saved, because buildings, like people, are worth fighting for. The applause was thunderous. Lauren grabbed his hand and squeezed. William returned to the microphone. Before we open for tours, I have 3 announcements. The crowd quieted. First, Marcus Wright's position is now permanent, with full benefits and a seat on our leadership team. More applause. Marcus felt his knees go weak. Second, effective immediately, I'm stepping down as CEO of Hart Technologies. Gasps. Lauren's hand tightened on Marcus's. I'll remain as chairman, but it's time for new leadership, someone with vision, compassion, ability to see potential where others see obstacles. William turned to Lauren. My daughter, Lauren Hart, will assume the role of CEO effective July 1st. Lauren's mouth fell open. Tears sprang to her eyes. And third, William continued, Hart Technologies is establishing the Sarah Wright Memorial Scholarship Program for historical preservation trades. Fully funded apprenticeships for individuals pursuing restoration careers, regardless of background or prior education. Marcus couldn't breathe. Sarah. William had named it after Sarah. The program will provide living stipends, tools, and job placement for 50 students annually. Because as my daughter and Mr. Wright have taught me, talent exists everywhere. Opportunity doesn't. William looked at Marcus. Mr. Wright's late wife, Sarah, believed in education and opportunity. This program honors her memory. The crowd rose in standing ovation. Luna jumped up and down. Lauren cried openly. Marcus couldn't see through his tears. When noise died, William raised his hands. Now, please join us for tours. See the restoration up close. Meet the team who made it possible, and celebrate what's achievable when we value capability over credentials. The curtain rose, revealing the theater's full glory. The crowd gasped. The ceiling details, the original woodwork, the stage in all its grandeur. Lauren turned to Marcus. CEO, he's making me CEO. You deserve it. I'm terrified. You're going to be amazing. Marcus hugged her. Congratulations. Luna appeared on stage, running. She crashed into Marcus's legs, and he lifted her up. Daddy, you did it. The theater is so pretty. We did it, Luna Bug. Whole team effort. William approached, and Luna reached for him. He took her with easy comfort. Luna, what do you think? It's like a palace. Daddy made a palace. He certainly did. William looked at Marcus. The scholarship program, I hope it's appropriate. I wanted to honor Sarah's memory, but if it's too much, it's perfect. Marcus's voice broke. Thank you. She would have loved it. She would have been proud of you both. William shifted Luna. Now, Luna and I have ceiling murals to examine. She's going to explain all the artistic techniques. As William carried Luna off, Lauren and Marcus stood alone on stage. This is surreal, Lauren said. Which part? All of it. My father showing up, you proving everyone wrong, this building existing, me becoming CEO. She looked at her walker. 6 months ago, I couldn't stand for 10 seconds. Today, I walked out here in front of hundreds. Progress in all directions. Because of you. You taught me small victories matter. That toast can be an achievement. I just told you about my terrible cooking. You gave me perspective when I'd lost mine. Lauren looked at the theater filling with people. Thank you, Marcus, for everything. Thank you for kneeling down in that coffee shop. That was you. Was it? Marcus smiled. Feels like we've been taking turns lifting each other up. 1 year later, Lauren stood at Riverside Community Center's entrance without her wheelchair, without her walker, without any assistance, just her legs, just determination, just 18 months of celebrating toast and seconds and every impossible small victory. Luna ran up and grabbed her hand. Ms. Lauren, Daddy's inside setting up the art show. Lead the way. They walked in together, Lauren's steps careful but confident, Luna's bouncing. The center had transformed into a gallery showcasing work from Marcus's apprenticeship program graduates. Marcus stood in the center, directing placement, encouraging young artists, doing what he did best, building people while building things. He saw Lauren walking. No equipment. No equipment. Kim says I'm officially graduated from physical therapy. Lauren grinned. Guess what? I'm expanding the Sarah Wright Scholarship to 10 more cities. 10? 50 students annually isn't enough. We're going national. Lauren showed him her tablet. Board approval, full funding. We start next quarter. Marcus's eyes widened. Lauren, this is necessary. Talent exists everywhere. Now we're making sure opportunity does too. William appeared, Luna on his shoulders. He'd cut back hours, spent more time living. The change showed. Lauren, did you tell him yet? Tell me what? Marcus looked between them. Lauren smiled. Hart Technologies is making you Vice President of Historical Preservation and Workforce Development. You'll oversee the scholarship program, manage all restoration projects, and train the next generation. She paused. Unless you'd rather stay as director? Marcus looked at everyone. I don't know what to say. Say yes, Luna piped up. Ms. Lauren says it means more money, and you said we could get a dog. Everyone laughed. Then yes, Marcus said. Absolutely yes. Later, after the art show ended, Lauren and Marcus sat on the center steps, watching sunset paint Seattle's sky. Can I tell you something? Lauren said. Always. That day in the coffee shop, when you took my graduation photo, I was planning to quit, to tell my father my degree was pointless, because I was pointless. Lauren! But then you knelt down. You saw me, not my wheelchair, just me. And that changed everything. Lauren looked at him. You gave me my life back, Marcus. You and Luna both. You gave me mine back, too. I was about to give up when you offered that job. So we're even. I think we're family, Marcus said. Not by blood, but by choice. By showing up. By believing in each other when nobody else did. Lauren rested her head on his shoulder. Family. I like that. They sat in comfortable silence. Two people who'd been broken, finding wholeness in unexpected places. Luna ran out. Daddy, Ms. Lauren, Grandpa William says we should get ice cream to celebrate. Emotional ice cream, Marcus called back. Victory ice cream. That's even better. As they walked to William's car, Lauren on her own 2 feet, Luna skipping ahead, Marcus and William discussing scholarship logistics. Lauren thought about that rainy afternoon 6 months ago, about a graduation nobody came to, about a photo that captured the beginning of everything. About how sometimes the most important moments don't happen on mountaintops or in boardrooms. Sometimes they happen in coffee shops on rainy afternoons, when strangers show kindness, when broken people take chances on each other, when someone finally sees you as exactly who you are. And sometimes those moments change everything.
Join us to share meaningful stories by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell to start your day with profound lessons and heartfelt empathy.